Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story of the day is regarding White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre being cornered by the White House press pool regarding if she knew about the third set of classified documents on Friday and neglected to tell them about that third set again. And we actually get some answers today, folks. I know you're just as shocked as I am, but as always, support us by hitting that like and subscribe button, leaving us a short, sweet comment down below, and just double checking to make sure YouTube didn't go into your profile and change your bell icon to say personalized, because it should say all notifications, folks. And don't just trust them because they're known to do some shady stuff, just like the Biden administration here is doing. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Now, we got to backtrack just a little bit here. So last Tuesday, January 10th, there was a report that surfaced that classified documents were found. So the press shows up at the White House press briefing on 1-11 on Wednesday and starts questioning them about these classified documents that were found back in November, specifically November 2nd, and why nobody was notified about it before the midterms. And it was during that press briefing that the White House knew about a second set of classified documents, but didn't mention anything about it, even though they were specifically asked by multiple reporters during Wednesday's press briefing if there was any other documents out there. And she just kept saying they're being clear and transparent and all these other things. Well, come Thursday, January 12th, the second set of classified documents is ousted. And so the press shows up once again and is like, why didn't you tell us about it, Karine? What's going on? Is there anything we should know about? We're being transparent. We're being clear, blah, blah, blah. No joke. Thursday evening, a third set of classified documents was found. No, I'm not kidding. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out because we revealed that on Sunday. So Thursday evening, third set found. The press comes back on Friday and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's mentioning a third set of classified documents during the briefing. She doesn't even mention about it. Come Saturday, finally Fox News and other people start reporting on it that a third set of classified documents is found, which brings us to today, Tuesday, her being questioned on, hey, did you know about the third set of classified documents on Friday when we all met once again and you neglected to tell us? And we get answers, folks. We get answers. Well, Zeke Miller of the Associated Press is going to kick it off about these third set of classified documents. And then you see it will slowly unravel as time goes on here. Again, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, folks. It really does support the channel. And leave us a comment down below on what you think about this whole debacle. And if you think Joe Biden and the White House has, in fact, been transparent. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hear it.
On a different topic, regarding the discovery of classified and official documents at the president's residence and former office. Last week, you told, I believe it was Phil, that we all can assume, the American people could assume that the searches were complete and all the documents had been recovered. On Saturday, the White House counsel's office said that 5 additional classified documents had been found. Is it safe to assume now that all the documents have been recovered, all the official records, all the classified documents are back in the custody of the National Archives, or are more searches underway to find out if there's anything else there?
Look, I understand your question. We have addressed multiple questions from here. Multiple questions have been answered by the president. I know that you all just spent about, some of your colleagues, maybe you yourself, Zeke, was on the phone with my colleague for about 45 minutes that addressed a lot of your questions. I'm just going to continue to be prudent here. I'm going to let this ongoing review that is happening, this legal process that is happening, and let that process continue under the special counsel. I'm not going to comment from here. I'm not. One of the things that we have said for the last 2 years, when it comes to the Department of Justice, when it comes to legal matters, when it comes to legal issues, we have been very clear that we are not going to comment. We are not going to politically interfere, and that continues with this legal issue. And so I would refer you to the Department of Justice, refer you to the special counsel as it relates to specifics on this issue, and also my White House counsel colleagues are engaging with all of you, and will certainly continue to have conversations on this. I will say that we are consistent with what we have said on cooperating fully with the Department of Justice on this issue, and we will continue to cooperate fully with the special counsel.
Thanks, great.
So what should worry you about that, and why I opened it up with that specific clip, was one, the White House briefing kind of just started around that area as well. But she's been asked this very same question on 1-11 during the first press briefing, on 1-12 during the second press briefing when she was asked about the second set of classified documents, why she didn't tell anybody about it. And then also she was asked the same question on Friday's press briefing. Not the exact same question, but definitely a roundabout way. I mean, hell, even Phil Wegman has asked the question. I think Phil Mattingly of CNN asked the same question. I mean, they've been asked roughly 20 times here about this whole thing of like, are there more documents out there? Should we know about them? She doesn't give a clear answer. She gives the same answer she did roughly during those other press briefings. So there is a possibility, you guys, that there is more classified documents out there that we don't know about. And remember, this is so important because we're blowing this up because of everything the FBI did to Trump, everything this administration's done to Trump, everything the Democrats have done to Trump, and everything the progressive left have done to Trump. So they went after this man for 6+ years, and it's still going on, by the way. So we're not going to be letting off the gas here on this whole thing after what they did to that great man. Number 45, hey, he said a lot of silly things, but boy, oh boy, did he do a lot of great things, folks. So we're not going to let up here. There could be more classified documents, and boy, oh boy, folks, the press does not let up here. They want to find out if she knew about these third set of classified documents on Friday when they all met. And if she did, why did they not get answers about this third set, or why did she not even tell them about this third set? Watch this one, folks. This is when it really starts unraveling.
Thanks, Karine. On Friday, you stood here, though, and were asked about these documents issued by our account some 18 times. At that point, the president's lawyers had found these 5 additional pages of classified documents. So did you not know on Friday that those documents had been found when you were at the podium, or are you being directed by someone to not be forthcoming on this issue?
I have been forthcoming from this podium. What I said yes to was...
You have not been forthcoming at all. At all. January 11th. Everybody shows up. Is talking about this first set of classified documents while at the same time the White House knew about a second set of classified documents and neglected to tell anybody about it. So everybody shows up the next day on January 12th and is questioning you about the second set of classified documents as to why you withheld all this information and neglected to tell anybody about it, even though you're given prime opportunities on Wednesday and Thursday to answer, are there more documents out there that we should know about? And you neglected to answer that, all the while you're saying you're transparent. And then Thursday evening, come to find out there's a third set of classified documents. So everybody shows back up on Friday. And again, you neglect to tell anybody about the third set of classified documents. So now everyone's questioning you. What's going on? What's happening? You're not being transparent. And this is the answer we get. This is the answer we get.
What the statement at the time that we all had, right? You all had the statement, and I was repeating what the council was sharing at that time.
Right,
we
had that statement, so we knew what was in it. But you also knew. Did you not know that?
I'm telling you, I just answered the question. I just said that I was repeating what the information that we had at that time, right? That you all had. I was confirming from what the special counsel had provided to all of you, and that we knew as well from here. So just to be very, very clear. And look, I've also been...
Hand to God, am I missing something? Because she said she's being very clear and to be very clear. That wasn't clear. Did you know or did you not know? What do you mean? Let me know in the comments. Like, did I miss it? Like, what the hell?
Very clear about being prudent from here. I was also being very clear about being consistent from here, and not going beyond what is currently happening, right? And again, this is an ongoing, I also said this was an ongoing review that was happening with the Department of Justice, and as we know with the special counsel, I've been very consistent about that as well. And that's one of the reasons, your question to me is one of the reasons why we are being very, very careful and very mindful, and to not interfere here, and to make sure that the Department of Justice has their independence. Your question actually proves that, and that's why we're going to continue to refer you to Department of Justice and refer you to the special counsel or my colleagues at White House Counsel.
Does President Biden have confidence in the way his team is handling this, with this trickle out of information and the documents being found day after day?
I can tell you this, the president has confidence. I can tell you this, that the president and his team rightfully took action when they learned that the documents existed. They reached out to the archives. They reached out to the Department of Justice. That is the steps. We have been very clear about that, the steps and the process that we took here. And look, we're going to continue. We're going to continue to, as we have said, fully cooperate with the Department of Justice. We're going to fully cooperate with the president's team is going to fully cooperate with the special counsel. That does not stop, and and that will just continue. Again, we are going to respect the independence of the Department of
Could you
Justice.
describe his mood to us and the conversations you've had with him on this issue?
His mood has been very clear. I saw him this morning. He's very focused. I traveled with him this week.
He's not focused at all. He was singing happy birthday to somebody and didn't even know their name. He's like, happy birthday. What? He's not laser focused. Remember that whole spiel like a year ago? He's laser focused. He doesn't know what's going on, you guys. The dude doesn't have a clue. He doesn't even know how to sing happy birthday and remember one name that's probably on his card that's in front of him that he references all the time.
Again, he wants to make sure that he's continuing, and we are continuing to deliver for the American people. And we've been pretty consistent about.
There you go. They've been consistent, right? And she's gonna go on and just give the whole spiel of what the president is doing. Mm-hmm. So we didn't get an answer there, but thank God Michelle here follows up with the question that was just asked that we just saw about, did you know about the third set of classified documents? And we actually get an answer, you guys. For the love of God, it's come. It's just taken a long time. I mean, hell, but we got one, folks. Buckle up. Support us if you haven't already. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Let's actually see Karine Jean-Pierre answer a question.
Okay, Michelle.
Thanks, Karine. I want to follow up on Cecilia's question, and sorry if I missed it, but on Friday, did you or did you not know about the additional 5 pages?
I literally just answered that question.
But I missed it, so is it yes or no?
Well, I mean, you're not too far sitting next to her, so I was very clear. I provided the information that you all had at the time, and I confirmed. No, I did not know. I'm saying I had the information. I actually said this to Cecilia. I had the information that you all had at the time, right? And so this is why I also said to Cecilia, this is why we are trying to be very prudent here, and we're trying to be very consistent and say this is an ongoing legal process. And this is why I say we're just not going to comment from here. That is a perfect example in Cecilia's question, and I was very clear about that.
I just want to pause it there, you guys, because she has answered this question before, so there could be some truth here as to literally she did not know or her staff did not know. Because she was asked, I believe it was Steven that asked this question of, did you or your staff know anything about these documents? And she said no, but his previous question was about a strategy. And he referenced that strategy in his question. And I said, look, technically she wouldn't be lying because she didn't believe it was a strategy to begin with. And so if she said no, that no could be referencing the strategy because she didn't believe it was a strategy in terms of the White House communication on what's been going on here. Now it's a pretty clear no that she's saying she didn't know about these third set of classified documents. And on Sunday's show, I did mention that there could be some truth to that because the way the timing works of Thursday evening, the documents are found. The press briefing, I believe, was Friday morning. And there's a potential of a lag of communication to get to her before that briefing, and then everything was released on Saturday. Now, here's the issue. It really shows a lack of communication in that White House. It really shows that, quite frankly, she might not know a damn thing that's going on in that White House. Like, she might not know anything, which has been a prediction and a conspiracy theory here on the Bald Brad Show, that because Joe Biden is cuckoo, she don't have any idea what's going on either. So she comes across as cuckoo. She don't have a clue. Nobody has a clue. That's why she's going, oh, you got to talk to the White House counsel. You got to talk to the DOJ. You got to talk to Joe Biden's personal attorneys because she don't have a damn clue. As to why, I don't know. She's supposed to be the mouthpiece for the guy. So this creates more questions of who knows that in the White House? When did they know? How did they know? How is this being handled? Because there is a mix-up between the White House and the DOJ because the White House is handling some aspects of this. So is the DOJ. And she's trying to separate the two. You'll see it actually gets into more questions that haven't been answered. And we'll see if they do get answered because now there's a spider web, folks. Let me know in the comments, do you think she's lying? Because this is going to continue. But I want to know, do you guys think she's lying here? Honest to God, I actually believe her. I know it's crazy. You're like, I'm unsubscribing. No way. I actually believe her. I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew. And I think that's part of the strategy is to keep her out of the loop as much as possible. Because if she's out of the loop, guess who else is out of the loop? All of us. And if all of us are out of the loop too, guess who else is out of the loop? The press. Which is why the press don't know anything. And I'm not belittling them. They're doing a great job here of trying to get their questions answered. I'm just saying that they don't know anything because she won't answer their questions. whatsoever. And if you notice, Peter Doocy hadn't got his question answered on Friday because she dodged him and blew him off. And guess what? Guess who gets blown off today too? Jackie Heinrich of Fox News. So Fox News has been blown off for 2 press briefings in a row, and I'm sure you can guess why, folks. I'm sure you can guess why. It's unbelievable.
When did you learn about the documents found at the Penn Center in November and in Wilmington in December?
When your team was doing a story on it.
Got it.
That means she didn't find out until last week on Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, this is where it gets interesting, you guys. I told you it's a spider web. If they broke the story on Wednesday, did she know about the second set of classified documents that were found in his garage on Wednesday as well and neglected to tell everybody because the press didn't know about that second set of classified documents? Or when it broke about the second set of classified documents and everybody rolled in on Thursday, is that when she found out as well? Furthermore, one thing that's missing here is, when did she know about the third set of documents? There's a lot of questions here. I'm telling you guys, this is such a spider web. It's crazy. I'm trying to keep track of it all for you. That's why I keep repeating myself a little bit of the timeline and the process, because some things could be slipped up here. Some things could go under the rug. But boy, oh boy, we're going to try to get answers for all of you here, folks. I promise. I'm going to try my best.
Because I was also asked a similar question about if our team has been engaged on this, and I've been very clear. This is something that the White House counsel is handling. This is something that is being handled by the president's lawyers, and been very clear. This is why we are being prudent here. This is why we're being consistent with what we have done the last 2 years when it comes to DOJ, Department of Justice investigation. We are just not going to interfere.
Well, on that note, you've repeatedly emphasized the need, just as you did today, for independence, for integrity of the Department of Justice investigation. One reason why you continue to point us to the DOJ. So I wonder, why then did the White House counsel go to Wilmington to facilitate the handing over of documents to the DOJ? How is that separate? How is that separating the White House from the DOJ?
And Weijia, I appreciate the questions. I know there's going to continue to be dozens more questions probably today, and I will say, reach out to the White House counsel's office. That's one of the reasons my colleague was on the phone with many of you taking questions today, and I'm just going to leave it there. That is something for them to answer.
Okay, but it's related to something that you keep telling us, which is how much it is important to this White House to separate the White House from the DOJ's investigation. But the White House counsel was the one to go and facilitate the documents, to look for the documents.
Again, they have been working very closely with the Department of Justice. I would refer you to them. If you want to know specifically about their actions, specifically about what they're doing, I would point you to the White House counsel's office. Look, guys, you guys can ask me this 100 times, 200 times if you wish. I'm going to keep saying the same thing. I hear your question. It's been asked, it's been answered, it's been noted, and we're just going to try to move on here, and we're going to move on. We're going to move on. We're going to move on.
False information.
We're going to move
One
on.
more, because Ian did have that call today, and he said that the White House would, quote, fully cooperate with the investigation. Does that mean that President Biden is willing to be interviewed if called on?
I'm just not gonna, you're asking a question that should go to the White House counsel's office. As you just said, Ian, you spoke to my colleague just moments ago. That is something that the White House counsel's office should be answering. Anything specific to the DOJ or special counsel's, what they...
She's gonna continue the same thing. Look, what's interesting here is, like I said, she's trying to make a separation between the DOJ and the White House. Oh, we're following this, we're following that. I want to be prudent. I want to be clear. I want to be transparent. But yet, great question here. Fabulous question by CBS News. Michelle going, well, why would the White House counsel show up for these classified documents if that's something from the DOJ and their job? Which you're seeing now a conflation. And now they have even more questions. You guys, I'm telling you, this thing is spiraling out of control, and she don't know what to do nor how to handle this thing. So now we're going to step further with another White House reporter here, Stephen, asking a very important question. And mind you, he's the one that asked about the strategy and the communication coming from the White House. And he's slowly seeing that there's a lot more that's involved in this whole thing than meets the eye. And they're trying to be tight-lipped about it all and trying to make sure that the information is spread out so nobody gets in trouble here, which should make you think there's something else going on. So as always, folks, before we jump into the clip, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Let's see Stephen here with this question.
Karine. Thank you, Karine. Just want to ask you about something you said last week. Last week you were pretty insistent that you believed that the president's attorneys did the right thing. Do you still believe that?
Yes, they did the right thing when it comes to making sure that when the documents were found, they handed it over to the archivist, and it was handed over to Department of Justice. But again, Steve, I'm going to be very prudent here. I am going to be very consistent. It is an ongoing legal process. I'm not going to say more.
But the reason I ask is that what we now know, the president's counsel statement, the president's personal lawyer statement, shed a bit more light on this, but they raise more questions. Namely, the first call that the president's personal attorneys made on November 2nd was not to the FBI that they had found what we now know were top secret documents out in the open. The first call was to officials here at this White House in the West Wing. How is that the right thing? Isn't that the right thing when you see if you're a lawyer and you don't have a security clearance and you see a classified document, shouldn't you call the Justice Department's National Security Office right away?
Again, I'm going to refer you to the White House counsel's office. That is something for them to answer. That is a very specific question that they should answer, that they will engage with on you on this, just like my colleague did for almost an hour and had this conversation with all of you.
It was about a half hour, but let me widen out. Why is it the matter of this White House counsel to deal with documents from 2 administrations ago? We're not talking about presidential records from this White House. Why is this White House counsel involved in this matter at all?
Again, this is something for the White House counsel to address. I am not going to address that from here. I will refer you to them, and I will refer you to the special counsel and anything that is specific to this particular issue.
I think he really does a great job here, you guys, on bringing out the fact that there's a lot more going on here that meets the eye. And there is a reason, you guys, she keeps referencing the White House counsel. Basically, those that are lawyers of the Biden family, the White House. There's something going on here, and somebody's lying. Somebody's doing some shady business. It was just ousted that you had Hunter Biden paying his father, Joe Biden, $50,000 a month for rent. Basically, a lot of people think that's funneling money. And I believe that was uncovered when these documents were uncovered as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming out here. They're getting the lawyers involved, and the press are pouncing, as you hear everybody say, oh, they're pouncing this, they're pouncing on that. But they really are, you guys. And again, I keep saying this, we got to give them credit. We're so used to what we saw under the Trump administration. I'm not saying that they're perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I'm trying to get the American people back on the side of the press in the sense of they're trying, you guys. I'm not saying that they're always going to be on our side with their questions. I'm not saying they aren't being left-leaning and all these things. But boy, man, at least from what I've seen covering this for 2 years now, they have been trying. There's times when they frustrate me. There's times when I want certain questions to be asked, but I'm not in the room, and obviously they don't have the same thinking as a conservative Republican all the time. But hell, man, you got to give credit where credit's due sometimes. Even for Karine, you got to give credit where credit's due. We don't give him enough credit. But with that being said, I'm tired of using the word credit. Let's see here, Peter, not Peter Ducey, the other Peter, asking her going, should the American people be outraged about this whole thing? And I got an answer for myself for his question, but we'll hear what she has to say first.
And then I'll come to that.
Just to follow up, if I can, very quickly on this. The White House says Republicans are faking outrage on this issue. Why shouldn't Americans be outraged about classified documents being found in a garage?
Look, and I think I've been very clear about this. We have answered questions on this at this podium. You've heard, as Phil was saying, twice from the president talk about this. He said that he didn't know. Right? He said that he was surprised, and he said that he takes classified information and documents very, very seriously. We heard directly from the president on this issue. Now, anything else, anything beyond that, we're just not going to talk about. There's an investigation going on. There's a legal process here, as we've been very, very clear about. I will let the White House counsel talk about any specific details about that, but we're going to be prudent here and make sure that we are not interfering in this process.
I guess that's why I'm asking, though, because you've said that you don't want to interfere here and be prudent about the process. But the White House did post a statement saying that Republicans are faking outrage. So to that point, why shouldn't Americans be upset about documents found in a garage?
That's for the American people to decide, right? That is for you all are, I'm sure, going to talk to many folks out there and have this conversation. But what we do know, right, what we do know from polling that we have seen over and over again, from your coverage, from what we hear, what the president goes out and talks to the American people, they also care about the economy, right? They also care about what is the president doing to lower costs, which is
Okay, she's going to go in the whole spiel of what the president's doing and spin it, right, as she always does. I think it's a really interesting question, and one that I kind of want to hear from all of you on is, should the American people be outraged, and is it fake outrage coming from Republicans and conservatives? I'm going to give you my answer, but I want to know what you think, and then obviously I'm going to read yours to see if we kind of are in line, and we may or may not be, which is okay. I think there's going to be those that are going to be outraged about it, and maybe rightfully so, depending on how classified and what was in the actual classified documents. Now, is it good that documents are out there? No. It's not good when Trump does it. It's not good when Biden does it. It's not good when any president just leaves classified documents laying around. Do I think it's something to be outraged about? For me, it depends on what's actually in the classified documents. I don't like that there's classified documents. I'm not going to be pissed or crazy about it. But if it's something very serious, then yes, I would be really upset regarding that. Even if it is Trump, I would be upset. But there is a sense of truth from Peter there, that there is a sense of fake outrage from Republicans. And you actually see it on my channel. Not that my outrage is fake in the sense of what you're seeing on camera. I am frustrated with Karine Jean-Pierre. I am stern with her. I don't like when she lies to us. All this stuff is real. But the idea that it's fake outrage isn't, in the sense of, I really don't care, you guys. He's not up all here. You know, he has dementia. Of course, he's not going to remember those documents. He's not going to remember yesterday. So I'm only bringing this out, one, because we're being lied to. One, we're being manipulated. Two, three, she's always spinning. You know, four, we were told one thing and now we're being told another thing. And the most important reason was they blew it up on Trump and they took the FBI to raid the man's house, go through his wife's stuff, go through his kid's stuff, his stuff, and the way they treated him. So when you open up a door, this is what you start, and it's going to be relentless because we're going to do it to them. Then they're going to do it back to us, and it just keeps escalating from there and there. And you know what? They started it. It's a culture war. It's a political war. Fine. We'll go ahead and do it. And like I said, I'm not going to let off the gas until we get all our questions answered, or they do. And you know what? The news cycle always changes. So we'll see what the heck happens with it. But there is a sense that it's truth. It is a little bit fake hysteria, but it's more so political games at the end of the day of what we're playing here from both sides, Democrats and Republicans. And I'm a part of it, folks. I'm a part of it all, and I'm having fun doing it, poking fun at this lady and the Biden administration because they suck. They really do. They're really bad at their job. Let's be honest. And I think all of you would agree with that. But again, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Let's start a thread down there, engage with one another. And folks, as always, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. Make sure that bell icon says all notifications. And with that being said, share with your friends and family. And I'll see you tomorrow here on The Ball Brad Show.